feeling cleaner than I ever would be. It's cooler than Antarctica's weather would be. Damn, I think my swagger is a weapon to me. And dudes don't count you off the record to me. So don't be stepping to me, trying to shake my hand. I'm already the man, ain't trying to make your band. I feel the fact that I'm real just make them mad. I be smoking helium to inflate my swerve. I'm fact that I'm real just make them mad. I be smoking helium to inflate my swerve. I'm fly, yes, I'm high, yes. Every lady wanna get to this guy, yes. Go out tonight, I just might, yes. Style cleaner than yours, so don't buy, yes. I'm so debonair, so debonair. 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 You're not really seeing me, dog. Real talk. You feeling whacker than you ever would be. In mind, you think you would.
Demi, stop it. What's going on, y'all? And welcome back to my channel. Y'all, since I started this channel, y'all know I have been super excited about doing the reviews of Basketball Wives, and I'm here for it, y'all. I am loving this season. I have a special person who loves Basketball Wives as much as me. She's getting her things together, and she'll be right back. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take care of the business of this channel. If y'all want to join my tribe, please stand by my side. Go ahead and subscribe. Turn on the notifications. Make sure you turn them on. Also, you get notified every time I go live. Like the video. Share the video. Comment in the comments. And please keep me in the algorithm. If you are here, comment in the chat so that we can see your comments. We can pull them up. We can talk about them. Also, if you guys were a part of the Affairs That Are Our podcast, I have changed that to the SoDebNair vlog channel. So if you have not already subscribed to that channel, go ahead and do that as well, because I will be posting vlogs starting this week. So I want you guys to be able to get all of the content. I'm excited, y'all, like super duper excited. I'm waiting on Cindy to log back in so that we can really get started. Let me say what's the people in the chat. What's going on, Jen? The holiday. Happy Tuesday. Chris Maxwell, what's going on? Just simply, hey, what's going on, girl? Hey, SoDebNair, chat, listen in while I eat dinner. And is it Silk Q Head? Say it right. What's going on? And I said, hello, King. And what's going back to you as well. So I'm waiting on Cindy to come in. I'm gonna play my intro, and then we're gonna get started with this review. I hope you guys have been watching Basketball Wives. This season already started off. This only episode 2 has been really dope. I'm enjoying the whole thing. What's going on, Q? I'm enjoying the girls. They all look amazing. As we go through this episode, we're really going to start talking about things. I see Cindy just popped in, so let me play the intro, and we're going to get started, y'all. So let's go.
I'm fly, yes, I'm high, yes. Every lady wanna get to this guy, yes. Go out tonight, I just might, yes. Style cleaner than yours, so don't buy, yes. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair.
Cindy.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, SoDeb. I'm so ready for this. I'm so ready.
Me too. One, I'm excited because we have been talking about this for so long, and now we have the opportunity
for
to do it
like
together.
a year, right?
Yes.
Like almost a year. I mean, we've been waiting for this show to come back.
Right.
We weren't even sure if it was coming back, and
Right.
it's back.
Right. And I'm happy I'm doing it with you because we share the same passion for the show.
Yes.
So it's going to be a really dope review. I'm excited to see what we have together and how we're going to execute this. But I'm definitely excited about this.
Me
Do
too.
you want to
And
say
seeing
anything?
that, well, I was just gonna say, last the first episode we kind of missed, so I'm not sure.
Mhm.
Do you guys want to start there? Do you want to start
So
that little recap?
So I pulled up the clip because I think this was the biggest clip from the last episode, which
Okay.
is Brandi and Malaysia sitting down talking. This
Right.
was like the main part. So they
Right.
started off this episode with this. So I think that we can start here, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So just a backstory. Malaysia and Brandi haven't talked to each other in 3 years.
Right.
And now they're sitting down having this talk. Brandi is telling Malaysia that her father died. She didn't reach out to her. She's upset about it. Malaysia is like, well, I didn't know. Do you think Malaysia knew?
I don't think that she knew because I went back to look at the first episode, and when she said, "You know that Wolf died," she looked
Mhm.
genuinely shocked and sad for her for a split second before Brandi kind of went off on her. So I really believe her. I really don't think she knew.
I agree. I agree with you. I
Really,
agree
because
with
I was going to say, I mean, even from this conversation, when she
you. Mhm.
said, "You are the one with the heat," so
Yeah.
I really didn't know,
I
so
really,
I don't understand what Brandi is really expecting of her.
I really think that there are two different things going on here.
Yeah,
They both are going through really bad times in life, and because they haven't
yeah,
talked in so long, they're sitting on two different sides.
right,
Um, Brandi still doesn't know what Malaysia is even going through.
right. And that's the thing.
Mhm.
Like I was wondering why she was giving her such a hard time for
Yeah,
not reaching out, about her father when obviously she hasn't reached out to her either. So
right.
because I know from the first episode, she Malaysia briefly mentioned this, but I know that when Brandi had COVID and she became really ill, I believe she
Mhm.
was even hospital in the hospital for it. She was uh she said she found out on social media. So no one
Yeah,
in Brandi herself, obviously, but no one of their friend group or her family notified Malaysia. So
right,
uh, obviously, why would she know about her father passing? Why would she know that?
right. And I am Team Brandi, but I
Yeah,
can see where things are. Something's not right here.
broken
And
down,
so,
right? Don't you get that? Don't you get that feeling like
yeah, it's
something
like
broke?
you can see that there's love between the both of them, but because
Yeah,
Malaysia's going through what she's going through, Brandi's going through what she's going through, they're missing the mark. Like they're not connecting at all. And
right.
to hear Malaysia talk about her situation even more, it really makes me really sad for them. I actually cried. I ain't gonna lie to you, I cried.
Yeah.
I
Oh, I
cried because
mean,
I'm like it's because they really are good friends, but because they're missing what each other has gone through because they have had that 3 year break, they're missing what's going on with each other's lives. And so Malaysia's upset. I mean, Malaysia's not going through her thing with her ex-husband and the child support and her taking care of her kids by herself. Brandon with her father passing away and her best friend not reaching out to her. I understand all both sides.
But I don't understand why she would consider her to be a best friend now. We all have a best friend or friends that we don't have to talk every day, right? And then when we do, things pick right back up the way they were. But I just don't understand why she's making it seem like they had consistently spoke for those 3 years. Then, of course, it would make sense if she was upset with her. But
Right.
the fact that she didn't reach out, Malaysia didn't reach out, and their lives kind of went in different directions, I
Mhm.
still don't understand why she's mad. Now, hurt, I do understand that. I can understand being hurt.
But I think
You kind of,
I think that's what it is. It's just the hurt that
yeah,
I think when like you have a best friend, you feel like they should automatically know. And
yes,
I've been in Brandy's seat, I've been in Malaysia's seat, so I can get
right,
both sides of the story. I think for Brandy, it feels like a lot more because Brandy doesn't know what Malaysia has going on.
right.
So I understand where Brandy's coming from because it's like, well, you knew my father and you're my best friend. Like we haven't talked in 3 years and we had this break or whatever. And literally, I think that there's some other issues in between those 3 years because why did not talk for 3 years?
That's what I was about to ask you. I
Yeah,
wanted you to finish because I wanted to say, like, my best friends, I don't have years that go out in between. And if I do know why there's a gap, I know
mhm,
why there's a gap. We don't just stop talking.
yeah,
So that doesn't make sense to me. And I really, really want to yell, like, the phone works both ways. Why
yeah,
didn't Brandy reach out to her? What was she
right.
expecting her to do? Now, could it have been how they ended with Basketball Wives.
I think that's what it was though,
Hmm.
because Malaysia chose the show over Brandi.
Right.
So I think that's to me. I think that's the main issue with between.
Right. So maybe that's what's is stemming this. Maybe she felt hurt that and that would make more sense to me other than you knew my father died and you didn't reach out. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I think that it was more because it's like they were friends for 15 years. So the
Right.
show was not their friendship. The show
Right.
is not 15 years old. So they had a friendship before this. I still feel like, maybe that gap, there was something there we're missing as viewers,
Right.
you know.
Right, as viewers, and just, from them, they're not really offering really what kind of
Mm,
insight is, what
yeah.
I mean? Like I felt hurt and I felt like she should have reached out. If Brandy would have started out like that, I think I would have, liked her better.
Yeah.
As you know, I am not a fan or
Okay.
team Brandy,
Right.
but I am for Malaysia, and I do feel what she's been going through, and I feel to me, I hate to say it like this, but I'm going to. I feel to me like Brandy falls into kind of like she's kind of like a victim addict to me.
Okay.
Like even if it wasn't, the cancer thing, then it was the cheating husband thing, and then it's always something or someone is doing something to her,
Mhm.
and she doesn't even really seem to s- ask what anybody else is going through. Like if
Mhm.
that's your best friend, you can't see that something is different, something's
Okay.
wrong, something's off. I don't know. That's just my thought.
So let's revisit episode 1 really quick because I mean this kind of goes with this. Brandy said that Malaysia has a character flaw. How do you feel about that?
I don't feel that she does. Now I know that, from being raised as, by a single mom, my mom had to go through a lot, right? So her focus though was always on us. And I believe that Malaysia's focus is on her children. So how is that a character flaw? That she doesn't prioritize her friendships, over her children. That to
But
me sounds
but
like a good
but
mother.
but you also have to remember that Brandy doesn't know this.
Right, right. But
So
but then
from
why
her
not ask
perspective,
her?
but from her perspective, it does to me. It seems like that from Brandy's perspective. And I'm gonna try to make excuse for Brandy all day, but I can see her. I can see her perspective because Malaysia, like Brandy was like, my dad died. You didn't call. Malaysia never said, "Yo, this is what's going on with me." Like she just like you're attacking me, which I understand that part too. Like, don't if we have
Right,
an issue and you were my best friend, don't come in attacking me. Like,
right,
talk to me.
right. Well, but I feel like even though Malaysia didn't express to her about what was going on, with her baby daddy, she
Mhm.
still knew that, when Malaysia said in the
Well,
second
her
episode,
ex-husband. That's not even her baby.
right,
Her ex-husband.
right. But Malaysia did say in this episode that when they were really, really close, she
Mhm.
was newly divorced. She
Yeah.
was young and single and just kind of wild, and she has changed now. So, I feel like if you know that you caught her at a time where she was more free, you don't
Mhm.
know where her life may land. You know what I mean? I
Well,
just
let
feel
me.
like that's your responsibility as a friend on her end as well, not just Malaysia's.
Right. Let me ask you this. Do you remember the season where Brandy was trying to divorce her husband? And
Right.
Malaysia was like, I don't think you should do that because um I don't think it's that bad. Like basically she was saying it's not that bad.
Right.
And Brandy was like, well, but it is that bad. And I
Mhm.
think I think that's to me, that's where the disconnect started for them because Malaysia
Mm.
really didn't know a lot about Brandy's relationship. And the
Right.
more we watched, they never really went back and addressed that part because Brandy's relationship wasn't really that great for real.
It really wasn't that great to me either. I mean,
Yeah,
he was a serial cheater. He
yeah.
kind of, chased her around. He would mess up and then beg to come back, and he kept that up with that cycle. So,
Mhm.
but the only reason why Malaysia didn't know that was because Brandy wasn't telling her, right? So
That's
it's
true.
kind of like you want me to be there for you to support you and understand you, but she can't read her mind. She
Right.
can't, she has to be able to convey that. Now, she did that on the show, and who knows what kind of talks they had afterwards, but
Mm.
clearly she didn't know that when she was trying to encourage her to stay.
To stay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I flip it back to this situation. It's like a flip situation because now Brandi doesn't know what she's going through.
Right. That's an excellent point. She
Yeah.
really doesn't. But I just don't understand. Like, again, if you want to stay close with someone, you speak to them. So
Right.
what is the problem? So if the problem was, hey, when Shaunie said, thank you for your services, you didn't stand up for me and you didn't leave the show, why
Mhm.
would she also leave a bag when she knew that she was newly divorced? Obviously,
Well,
she was on the show before Brandi. She's
but
gonna
you
leave
know that
a
she
check
brought,
for her.
but you know she brought Brandi back, even though they said they don't want to be a brown Brandi. She brought Brandi back that next season,
The next
even when they
season.
said no.
I
And
know.
that's when
And it
Evelyn
was
came back, and they all walked. Shawnee, Evelyn, and Tammy walked out when Brandi showed up.
absolutely. And I get that, but I'm just I what I my issue is that she didn't have an issue with Malaysia after that. So because they didn't
Well,
want
we
her
never
on the
seen it.
show,
We don't know because we never seen it. That was the last time we seen Brandi.
I know, but again, what was she expecting Malaysia to do?
No, I'm saying Malaysia, even though they said they didn't want her Brandi around, Malaysia
Right,
still brought her around, right? But then
right,
after that, we never seen Brandi again. So
right.
I think as a friend, and I'm Team Brandi, but I think as a friend, Malaysia did the right thing. She was like,
I
even though
I
y'all want
think
to be
she
around her, I'm bringing
right.
her around.
And I think she did the right thing too. So that's what I'm saying. She even got the girl on the show. So she got her
Right,
a bag too. So
right.
my question is to you, from your perspective, Team
Hmm.
Brandy or not,
Hmm.
what more can Malaysia do? That to me sounds like a really good friend.
I
You weren't nobody
I
even knew
agree with
about
you.
Brandy like
I
that.
agree with you. I think that as a friend, it does hurt because you moved on with these women who don't like me. I lost my job.
Right.
Um, so I feel like I can see the resentment from Brandy, but
Mhm.
also I can see why Malaysia did what she did too.
I agree. And I feel like, again, like if that wasn't enough, as a friend to show kind of solidarity to
Mhm.
Brandy, what else can she do? Like,
Right,
you want her to come chasing after you and making sure that you're good, but where is the reciprocation?
right,
Why aren't you checking to make sure that she's good? Then she would know that she's having a problem with her baby daddy.
right. Because even when Malaysia said on this well, I think it was like the last episode at the end of this with this same conversation, she was saying when Brandy had COVID, like she was going crazy because she couldn't contact her.
Right. And so again, didn't that show her that she was trying to reach out to her? So if
Yeah,
she wanted it to get back close again, why didn't she say, "Hey girl, I was too sick. I was in the hospital.
right,
Thank you for reaching out," or whatever. She's making it seem like Malaysia never had compassion for her,
right,
whatever this character flaw that she said that she has. Why didn't she state what that character flaw was? Because to
right.
me, it sounded like Malaysia has been loyal. She helped her get the job. She tried to make her, come back even when they didn't want her back. And,
Right,
so you kind of put your behavior is making them make the decisions that they were making, not because of
right,
Malaysia. Malaysia constantly supported her. And even though they hadn't spoken, at that point when she got COVID, it must have been like 2 years. So it was like a year before the show started shooting again. She reached
right.
out and she was like, I was trying to reach her and I had no idea. And I found out through social media. So it sounded like to me, Malaysia
And
was
she said she
still
was going
doing more.
crazy because she couldn't even talk to her. So you
Yeah,
know that Malaysia is a good friend to Brandy. Like that
that's what
at
I'm
this point,
saying.
we can't deny the fact that Malaysia is a good friend to Brandy.
I
Period.
agree. I agree.
So
I agree.
I'm down for that. Like I said, I'm reasonable with what goes on here.
Right.
I want to read some of these comments because Ferris said, "Do you think Malaysia was not allowed to talk to her because of she was still in the show?" Because Nene said the housewives cannot talk to her because of the show. Now I do see this maybe in a possibility because I think Malaysia tried to bring Brandy back, and then maybe this is like a thing where they can't really interact with the people who are not on the show anymore.
Right. And
But I
and
think Brandy would know that too, though.
right. And that really is a good comment, Ferris. I just really feel that, even if they weren't supposed to speak on the show, it seems to me that Brandy's feelings are hurt beyond that. Like she would have been aware of that. She should have
Right.
said something along the lines of like, I know we weren't supposed to talk because I was no longer on the show, but you should
Mhm.
have, you should have called me after my father passed or
Like
something like
behind the
that.
scenes or
It
whatever. Yeah.
right. It doesn't make any sense that all of a sudden it was radio silent when Malaysia said when she got COVID, she was going crazy trying to reach her. So
Yeah.
clearly she was still able to speak to her because she was reaching out to her.
And I also think that that's editing because I'm pretty sure Brandy said something in the middle of that. They didn't put that in there because I
Yeah,
mean I'm watching the Bad Boys LA and they going off about well, it was not Sean, what was Sean or whatever. So I'm sure there was something that was not there that we didn't get to see.
right,
I do like Miss Gigi's comment. They are both too hurt to acknowledge the other's feelings. Brandy is self-absorbed to notice anything or anyone else's issues. And I
right,
think, again, it's because to me, I feel like Brandy doesn't know what Malaysia's going through. So
right,
she's going to be more self-observed because one, her dad died.
right,
So I think that her feelings are very valid in this conversation. I think if Malaysia would have said, well, do you know what I'm going through? And
right.
told her, I think that would have changed Brandy, honestly, because as we watch this episode more and more, you see Brandy saying, like, I still love her. I still want this my
Right,
friend, this and this. So the love that Brandy has for Malaysia is still there. Malaysia
right.
is just done.
I think she's done because once again, Brandy has always, in my opinion, as I said earlier, has always been self-absorbed.
Mhm.
Everything is about somebody hurting her or she's been hurt and how come this and why didn't you chase after me kind of scenario. And
But I
I'm
mean,
sorry, I know that she's gone through a lot, but
right. Okay.
we all go through a lot.
Okay.
You have to be a friend to somebody else as
But
well.
can't
And I
but
think
cancer is huge though.
it's huge. Absolutely, it's huge.
Yeah.
But she didn't say that Malaysia wasn't there for her for cancer. She's
Well, that's
talking
true.
about she wasn't there for her for her dad who recently died a month before they started shooting the show.
Yeah.
So before that, Malaysia was there for her. She had been there for her. She wasn't there for Malaysia, and so I think that's why Malaysia is done, and that's why I can understand her side of the hurt. She doesn't want to talk about it. She doesn't want to have to tell her, this is what's going on because she hasn't been there for her.
Right. And I think as a friend, the same way that Brandy wanted her to be there for her, Malaysia probably feels the same way. It's like, girl, you haven't even asked me what I got going on in my life. And
Thank you.
you know?
That I get that 1,000%. And
So yeah.
Ferris, you're absolutely right. I mean, she does act like her problems supersede everyone, and that has been my
Oh
issue
yeah.
with her from the beginning. That is why, in all honesty, I've not been a fan of hers. I've not been a Brandy fan because of that. It seems like everything is always about her hurt
Brandy's.
and not anybody else's.
And I think even going back and watching like the old episodes when stuff was going on with Brandy, like Malaysia was the first person to pop up.
Yep.
And I don't think
She
I've
was
ever seen.
always there for her, always there
Yeah.
for her. Even when she brought in Duffy and she
Yeah.
really wasn't trying to rock with Duffy like that, she was like,
Yeah.
"That's your friend." And Duffy was all up in, and we can get to Duffy because I'm annoyed with her already. I was like,
Really?
it's
Okay.
yes, because I'm just like, it's now deja vu. This is why I forgot about her after she left the show.
Okay.
It Her and Tammy's interaction was funny.
Hmm.
But the reason that I never was a fan of her, and I was still a fan of Team Malaysia and not a fan of Brandy or Duffy, because Duffy does like she makes great points. Like
Hmm.
her point was with um that she was making to Brandy about that's my best friend.
Yeah.
Yes, great point. But the
I'm
fact that
but
she
I'm
was
loving Duffy this season though.
really? I was
I
gonna
like
say, I just think that the way that she confronts an issue is wrong. The way she confronted the
I
issue
can agree with
with
that. I agree
Tammy
with
and her daughter, you know what
that.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Her Tammy and her daughter, that was wrong. The way she, went along in the season, that was wrong. I felt the
Yeah.
way that she was even handling Malaysia when Malaysia was kind of, you know, being like, "Who are you, girl? I don't know you like that. We're not all sisters. That's my sister. You're just her friend," like
But I feel like
and
this episode we realized that Duffy has like a sister thing because she's calling like, oh, this could be my sister situation. And we'll get into this more. I want to ask you this. Have you noticed we've seen a lot of Duffy
yeah,
from these first two episodes?
we sure have.
Like there's a
Because I
lot
think
of Duffy.
she's the one that's the drama so far. Like I said, it's the way she
No,
communicates an
Angel
issue.
Brinks is the most drama.
Well, Angel Brinks has the most drama in her life, but the way she interacts with the girls is
Hmm.
normal. The way that
Oh, okay,
Duffy
yeah, yeah.
interacts with the girls
Got you.
stirs the pot and creates the drama. You know what I
Got
mean? Now that I've seen her only in these 2 episodes, she's kind of reminding me of like the younger version of crazy JackieChristie. Not crazy, not the crazy part, not the crazy part, but the one that puts her nose and everything, being like, "Are you okay?" Because she shouldn't have said that. And then, "Are
Got
you
you.
okay?" Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna read this last comment. We're gonna move on to the next part. Both of
Okay.
their feelings are valid, but Brandi is too aggressive. I do agree with that for
I agree.
Malaysia to deal with right now. I've always felt from day one that Malaysia was somewhat depressed. She's suffering from some sort of trauma. And
Right.
so I think, but honestly, the crazy part is this. And Darren said that Duffy, I love Duffy, she's my favorite. But I will say this from Miss Judy's comment. I feel like when Brandi says she has a character flaw, there is something there because Malaysia doesn't express how she feels or tell what's going on. She did tell
Right.
Jackie, but she doesn't tell people. So when they're having these issues, you can't fault people for not knowing what you're going through if you don't tell them. And I
I
feel like
understand that, but think about this in this way too.
okay,
So if Malaysia, experienced trauma, and she did say on one season, and I can't remember which season it was, that she lost her baby brother,
her brother,
and he
yeah,
was killed, right?
hmm,
Killed in a violent way, and she just shut down. And I
that was
think that's
season
what
8.
happens to her,
That was
right?
season 8.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see. And I think that's what happens to her. So right
yeah,
now she's dealing with the issues with money and her children's father, and him not being there, and
mhm,
she's now also feeling like mommy guilt, trying to come out to LA to work and not having their kids with her. Like, most mothers will tell you they feel guilty when they have to make money, right, so that
right,
they can survive, but they still want to be there for their kids and their babies. And so
right,
I get that part. So I think right now she's kind of in shutdown mode, and yet and still Brandi is really like, I forget, I think Gigi said, is really being aggressive. Like in the first
yeah,
episode, I really didn't like when she came over to the table to confront her, and she was like standing over her, hovering her. If I were
yeah,
Malaysia, I would have stood up, but you could just see she just was sitting down there, like kind of defeated. She's not feeling it right now, you know?
yeah.
She's not. She's not feeling
Um,
her.
yeah. I mean, was she? So let's move to this point because I mean, we're this in the direction we're going. So Jennifer pulled Malaysia aside, which I'm shocked about this
Me too.
because I'm like, when did y'all become friends?
Right. I think when they were trying to get,
Why didn't we get to see
that
this, like the makeup of this friendship? Because I didn't know. I mean, we saw her sitting with her at Jackie's wedding. Now she's pulling Malaysia to the side and talking to her. I think Jennifer was the best person because of her and Evelyn's breakup.
agreed.
But why don't we get to see the them making up?
The reconciliation. I feel
Yeah,
like, remember that janky last season with OG, that's when they started becoming better, because they were just like, we need to move on from all of that. And because basically it was them against OG and vice versa,
hmm,
Jennifer, and she was like, I just want to have fun, I just want to move on. And I think, and Malaysia was just like, yeah, let's just kind of move on. I think they probably patched it up over that. Like, there was nothing to really have any more animosity
I
for each
think
other
as
for.
viewers, like I would have loved to see them making up
Yeah,
because Malaysia was like, I'm not being her friend. Like she was
right,
never. It's like it would never going to happen. So I
right.
would
And
love to see
she threw the table at her, girl.
that. Yeah,
I mean, like, she was like,
right.
I don't like her, and she said this about, and you're calling me a liar. And that whole season, that was a mess. I
Yeah,
forgot what that girl's trip was. Was it Greece when Jackie got married for the millionth time?
I think it was Grease,
Yeah,
or that was it. Wait, was it Grease? Because that's when Tammy and Duffy got into it.
I don't. Wasn't that this? No, that wasn't the same season.
Was it? It
I don't
wasn't
remember
Grease.
where they went, but they
Yeah, me
were they
either.
were they were in a European or somewhere else country.
Yeah, I can't. It'll come to me later on.
Yeah,
But so let's talk about this. So we have Malaysia and Jennifer. Jennifer is asking Malaysia, like, do you miss her? And
right,
she's like, no, she
right.
doesn't miss her at all. And then you have Brandi and Brooke,
Brooke,
and and she misses Malaysia.
right. Well, she was just like, she was like, no, everything's good. But I'm like, girl, you're crying. Everything's
Yeah.
not good. I thought it
I
was
mean, I would
very
say
sweet of
this. So
Brooke.
so I do have a best friend where we kind of we haven't been in this situation, but he has a boyfriend and we don't get along and he has like stuff going on. So I get like this situation between Brandi and Malaysia because I feel like Brandi wants her friend back. Malaysia's like, I'm a single mother. I can't be old Malaysia.
Right.
And I don't think you understand that part. Oh, it's Portugal. It was Portugal where he went. Thank you, just
Portugal.
yeah, thank you,
Oh,
just
thank you. Thank you, just simply.
yes, and Darren Hood. It was Portugal. But I understand how Brandi feels because it's like I want some sort of friendship from my best friend from all these years still though. And if it has to change, like let's talk about what that looks like. But we're both but they're in two different trauma places. You
Yes,
know,
but you can't. But you can't confront your friend. You know,
absolutely
if you want that to happen, what
right.
you said makes total sense to me. But
Hmm.
sometimes, you know, it's just like any other relationship, a marriage, any other relationship.
Right.
Sometimes you grow apart. So you both have to want to move forward. You can't have one that wants to have that friendship, and even though they've invested 15 years of their
But
life
but
towards
but
it.
but tell me that though.
Right. But she's
Don't
telling her,
just
she's like, I don't want it. She was like, I have a
no,
character flaw.
she's
So,
saying that to other people. She has not said it to Brandi yet.
right.
So
Well,
Brandi
no,
feels
she
like
told
there's
that to
no hope
Brandy
for
last
this.
night. She was just
No,
like,
she didn't.
oh, you mean about like I've moved on? No, she has not. No, no,
Yeah,
no.
she hasn't told Brandi that. So Brandi still has hope for this friendship. And
Got
I
it.
think that Malaysia should have just been honest and be like, I don't miss you and I don't want to be your friend anymore because we're in two
But
different
she didn't
places.
approach her like that. So Deb, she
Right,
she
I
approached
know, I
her
know.
like why didn't you
Yeah,
she
I
was
got
talking
you.
about the grieving thing. You see what
Yeah,
I'm
I got you.
saying?
Yeah, I
She
got you.
was not saying, I miss you. What happened? I want to get
But
back. She came
I
saying,
think because
why
of the
weren't
two
you there
different
for me?
but because of the two different energies,
Yeah.
like if that was just said, I think that Brady could understand that part, or at least it was said out loud so that Brady can know that this is where they're at. Brandy
I
has no
agree.
idea that Malaysia's over her.
Right, right.
And I think this is why it keeps going and going and going because Brandy is like, even though we're getting into it, she didn't come because my dad died. I still love Malaysia. Malaysia's like,
Then
I
she
don't
should
even
have
miss
added
her.
that part.
Yeah.
She should have said, I'm really angry and disappointed that you didn't call me because I felt like you
She
should have
said that
known
to
my
her.
dad
She said it
died.
to her.
But then she should have added because I love you
Oh
and I
yeah.
want to move forward. She should have added that then.
Yeah, yeah,
How
yeah.
was
I'm
Malaysia
sure. That's
supposed to
true.
know? But
That's true.
all she's doing is attack. At this point, all she has done to Malaysia in her face is attack her.
I don't, okay, so I don't think that, in that kind of space that I would really be the most vocal person or understandable. It's like my father. Like, I don't know if I would
Right.
be in that kind of space to just say, be all the way playing for stuff. As my best friend, I feel like you should probably know how I feel.
Yes, but you can't.
And,
That's like with any
but I
like
will say
even
this
with a
though,
romantic relationship.
Malaysia did say that she said, well, no, Brandy said, but now you know. Malaysia's
Right.
like, but you keep attacking me. Like, Malaysia's in a place where you're attacking me.
Yes.
Like I can't even function with this conversation.
That's what I'm saying. You could
Yeah,
see on her face. Every
yeah,
time she confronts her, she's just looking at her like shut down, like, why do
yeah.
you keep coming to me, talking to me if you don't like me or if you don't like
Right,
something I've done, then why do you keep trying to come up and talk to me? You
right,
know, like I completely see where both parties are coming from
right,
because like you said, I think that Brandy is really thinking like, well, Malaysia should know me better. She should be
yeah,
there for me, regardless. And she's not saying this part, but in her mind, and this is her behavior, regardless of what she's going through. Even so,
right,
even if her life was great, it doesn't matter that she should, stop everything and drop everything and read Brandy's mind and her
right,
life. She has to express that too. They both should say what's not being said. We
right.
know what's not being said. But
Right.
that's what's causing the miscommunication.
I honestly feel really, really bad for Malaysia.
Yeah,
Like,
me too. I
honestly, like,
really do.
God, I feel like it's bringing my emotions now. But I feel so bad for Malaysia because
Yep.
you can see the hurt in Malaysia. You can see that Malaysia's going through a lot, and like I think that even when she told Jackie, like I don't feel like they like process what Malaysia's even going through.
Right. And that's what I was about to say too. I'm kind of low key salty with Jackie because as the veteran and, as, an older woman figure in that whole group, when Malaysia said that she was going through something, she did not have to, and she should not have told any details of what she's going through. But I felt like
Right,
it was her responsibility to inform the ladies, especially Brandi, to say
right,
she's going through some stuff. I know you guys want to resolve it, but right
right.
now she's going through some things. You can tell every time Malaysia walks into one of the functions, she's like, I'm out. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? You can
and it's
tell.
almost like it's to me, it's almost like going back to the season where Jennifer lost her mother, and Evelyn and Shaunie didn't care.
Right.
It's like she's really acting out because she's processing her mom dying. Like y'all
Right.
don't even care.
Right.
And
Because
so
they're hanging on to the old beef, and I'm just kind of like, wait a
yeah,
minute.
ain't
You
no old
can't be
beef
a
when my
human
mom
being.
died. Yeah,
Right. You
my
can't.
mom
Now,
died.
before my mom died, yeah, you know what I mean? Then keep dragging it out. But you can't have a little bit of compassion?
Yeah,
Wow.
like this is like a little inkling. And Shawnee did though. You know, she went back and
Yeah,
she hugged Jennifer. She talked to Jennifer because when she said it, like I broke down what Jennifer said, what she said, because it's like
me
I
too.
understand it, like you can't control your emotions when your parent dies. Like
Right.
I've never
I mean,
experienced that, but I couldn't imagine that, you know?
well, I have lost both of my parents. One when I was 4, so of course I don't really remember, but of course there's still pain and trauma there. And
Right.
then one when I was in my 30s. So I've had both experiences and I've lost both. And there's time helps, but there is nothing that takes away that pain. Nothing
Yeah.
takes it away.
Yeah.
So the fact that they couldn't be compassionate towards her. Now, obviously, Shawnee didn't really have as much beef with Jennifer, and it didn't go as deep as Evelyn.
Right.
But I still was disappointed in Evelyn that she couldn't when she had her um altercation with her ex-husband. She
Mhm.
wanted everybody to be sympathetic about
Right.
uh, about that kind of situation.
Yeah.
And I get that because that was hurtful and traumatic to her.
Yeah.
So the fact that she couldn't even extend that, even superficially, to Jennifer was disappointing. And that's our girl. And
Yeah.
but I was disappointed because I'm like,
And I
girl,
mean,
you old enough now.
yeah, and I think like to see Jennifer keep breaking down that entire season,
Yes, right.
it was hard to watch
It really was.
because it was like y'all don't even care. Like she's like, this is supposed to be a sisterhood, and I don't feel the sisterhood, and they're at that little crystal thing. And I was so happy that Shawnee turned around and just console her for that because I'm like, at least
Yes.
one of y'all care
Be a
about her.
human.
Yeah, like
Yes.
that meant a lot to me. That's why I don't really hate Shawnee that much. But
Yeah,
and I mean, I still love Evelyn, but I just when Jennifer was going through that, like it was heartbreaking to even watch on national television
it
that she
was.
was going through all this, and like y'all just don't like you were her friend for all these years,
Yeah,
and you had to know what her mother meant to her,
right.
and like
And,
you
and but
really
but you
didn't
know what
care.
I think it was? I think when they finally reconciled, because if you remember on the show, Jennifer and Evelyn reconciled a couple of times, and I
Hmm.
think that last time in Portugal before they
Hmm.
went, she tried again. And
Hmm.
Jennifer, then it kept, she was getting feedback from Malaysia saying she was talking about her child, and
Oh yeah,
anybody
yeah, yeah,
knows
yeah, yeah.
that Evelyn was not going to tolerate that.
But no, I'm
And
talking about
then
when
of
they went to that.
course,
No, I'm talking about when they went to that crystal party, and Jennifer said, "My mom just died."
oh yeah,
And
right,
Evelyn slammed the door like, "Bitch, I don't care." And
right,
I'm like, "Damn, like that's like I could never do that."
yeah, me
I
neither,
did not feel on that day Evelyn was a good person. I'm like, she just
right,
told you like she's going through this. She's like, so because your mom died, you're gonna be a bitch. I'm like,
right,
whoa,
right.
that's a lot.
It was a lot, and like I said, it was really disappointing. But
Yeah.
again, we have to realize, it was years and years of them going back and
Yeah.
forth, and like I said, their hurt was all the way down to the ground, like underneath the sand. I
I don't
remember when they
to me, like,
reconciled
I
on the
don't really
beach, right?
but to me, I really don't care. Like, I don't care if I'm arguing with, like, if you're my best friend and I know,
Right.
like, you talking about your mother died or your father died or your son, kid, wife, ex-husband, or whatever it is died, I'm gonna set that to the side. That's just me,
I
though.
agree, thousand
Everybody's not
percent.
me. So I
I
would have
agree, a
set it to the
thousand
side.
percent.
And when I seen Shaunie do it, I was just like, well, at least somebody did do it.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I think in this case with Brandi and Malaysia, she is. Like I said, I saw general, um, like her surprise
You
face
can see that
and
Malaysia was
and
hurt, but she didn't know.
sadness. Yeah, and she didn't know. She looked sad for
Yeah,
her, and she was
yeah.
like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't know."
She was
But
like,
before she could
"
even
I did not know." Like, the way
right,
she said
but
that she
before
didn't know, you
Malaysia
could
could
tell that
even
she did not know.
absolutely. I agree 1,000%. And then this episode really solidified that. She was like,
Yeah,
I did not know. She was like, so I told you I didn't know. And she's kept insisting that she knew. And instead of really focusing on why she's really hurt, she's just, they're just going around and around about the same thing.
yeah.
So I agreed with
But I also
Malaysia.
do think it's because Brandy does not know what Malaysia's going through. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got to stick for Brandy for a minute.
I know you do. Okay. All right.
I got to stick up for my girl. All
Well,
right, so
listen,
let's go to the
anybody with eyeballs could see that Malaysia is sad.
yeah. But
So
I mean,
the fact that she
but
won't
tell
even
me why.
acknowledge that,
But tell me, so I'm not sitting here like doing all this.
but then ask her, be her friend and ask her, are you okay?
That's true.
I
That's
know
true.
we're not getting along right
That's
now.
true.
Are you okay? What's going on? I can see that you're sad,
Yeah, that's true.
you know?
I can agree with you on that. So let's go to
But
the next.
I do love that Brooke stepped up and was there for her. I
Yes, me
forgot. I
too.
did like her the first time she came on. I like her. She seems like a fun girl.
I am loving me some Brooke this
Me
season.
too. I really am loving her. I'm like, girl, where you been? I didn't know
She's
why
so fun. She's so
she's so
light. Like, she's just
fun.
everything. I'm loving
Yes.
Brooke. I'm
And then
loving
and
Brooke.
then now she's about to hook it up with Crazy Jackie, so that's gonna be something. But I really, really like her. I liked her before and I
Yeah.
forgot about her. And then when she came
I
back, I was
forgot
like,
about it
oh,
too.
Brooke. Right.
I forgot about
I
it
was
too.
like, oh, Brooke. Yeah.
But I love the way that Brandy described her in this scene. When she was like, I like Brooke because she get her nipples pierced. She's really fun. She's really out there. Like this, I love this
Mhm.
scene. Um, Brooke is about to be one of my other favorites at this point because
Too.
I
I mean,
love the
because we
energy
have to
she
have a
gives.
replacement. We have to have a replacement for Evelyn and slash Tammy because they both had these kind of fun girl, wild girl moments
Yeah,
like
true.
that. And
And
so, I don't want to get stuck on the heavy OG stuff. Like it just wasn't. It didn't feel like that. This scene right here is
mhm,
how what the show was kind of built around.
yes. And shout out to Evelyn because she did repost me this week on Instagram.
Woo! See?
Yeah, no, that's my girl. She always every time I inbox Evelyn or I tweet her or I'm on Instagram, she always reposts me or responds back to everything that I say. So I'm gonna always love
We
Evelyn,
miss
y'all. I'm
you.
sorry.
People in the chat, but I miss her. We miss you, girl.
I miss her too. But I love this scene with Brandy and her because one, we've never seen them together like this. I got my nipples pierced. One of my best friend with me when I got mine done. So this was like a moment where I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, me too. I
It
thought it
was
was
like
a
a big
fun.
pillar of the show, but this
No, but
episode,
it was a
I
fun
love
kind
this
of.
though.
It's showing the bonding. We saw her console, Brandy the scene before, and so this
Yeah.
one was no more tears. Now they're having fun and they're kind of, girl time bonding. I liked it.
I think the biggest struggle right now is that Brandy's making other friends outside of Malaysia, honestly.
Yeah,
For the group, not for Malaysia and Brandy, but for the group.
right. But I
So
think, later on in the episode, Duffy hits the nail on the point of
yes.
saying,
We'll get there. Wait, we'll get
okay,
there. We'll get
yep.
there. So
But I liked it.
let's talk about this
Okay,
meeting with Angel Brinks, Rockstar, Duffy, and Iman.
right.
This was so triggering for me.
Really?
I hated this because
Mm.
one, I feel like Angel Brinks just cannot find a good man, period.
I was gonna say that. It's not even cannot find a good man, but what during this whole scene, I was like, she's so talented in what
Yes,
she does. I wouldn't wear the stuff, but she is so talented in what she does. She's found her niche. And
yes,
then when it comes to men, she just doesn't make good choices. She
yeah,
can't make a good choice for a man to save her life. And it's
yeah.
heartbreaking because she seems like a sweet girl.
She
Hate the
seems
hair
so
though. I
sweet.
hate her hair.
Like I feel like I want to start a fan page for her because
Yeah.
honestly, watching her go through this right now, I just don't like it.
Yeah, me
One, I
too.
seen Rockstar when he was on Love and Hip Hop. I didn't like him
That's what
then.
I was gonna say.
And he's on
Awful
here now. I
man.
really hate him.
Right.
And
Because she's
because
pregnant and she's vulnerable.
well, and I think the biggest thing for, real fans of this show, we already know that her first son, father passed away. Now
Yep.
she's pregnant with another baby, and
Right.
the father's gonna be like you really know her, and you're gonna do this.
Right.
These are the decisions you're gonna make, and then I think let me see if this. Okay, no, that's not the one. Duffy asked something about the post. What was the? Oh, I have my notes. Hold on. Duffy asked her. They were talking about signs, and she was like, he said he was a Scorpio, and she called him narcissistic.
Right.
And I said, well, I mean, if you watch Love and Hip Hop, we already knew that part, right?
Right.
But then she said something about her being hormonal because her pregnancy, and she's like, I ain't
No, I'm
hormonal.
fine.
He's an asshole. Period.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And for me, like my heart melted for her at this point, and I really felt so bad because I feel like I want her to have like the best man in the world at this point.
Me too.
Like
Me
she
too.
has done so much. Even when Malaysia trashed her business the first time she was on the show, she
Yep.
succeeded at everything. Like she has been
Yep.
the greatest success story from this show.
She
And
really
then
has.
now she's here, but she's
Business wise.
yeah,
Business
yeah,
wise.
business wise.
Mm-hmm.
And then now she has this man that she's pregnant by, and he's like not even good.
I know, but I can't only think of it this way too, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Is he trash? Yes, he is. I feel
Hmm.
like he's trash. He was trash. He proves he was trash and
Hmm.
disrespectful to women on Love and Hip Hop. Now he's over here doing the same thing. So why nobody should be surprised. But what my frustration is for Angel Brinks is that even before like during the quarantines when they really got together. Like, why would you quarantine yourself with someone that you didn't really know? You made
Right.
yourself vulnerable for this. Like, she really made herself you would love to think that somebody's going to step up and
Hmm.
be a good partner and be a potential good father. But she did not get pregnant, by herself. Like, she played a
I
part
think that
too.
she has like that what is it called where she's like a hopeless romantic.
Okay, but I
That's
mean, look at
that's how I
Prosperity Fit
feel.
Girl. The Prosperity Fit Girl said what she
And
said
he
is
is.
absolutely correct. He
He
is,
is.
and he always has been. But do your research. It doesn't matter if you're a romantic. Do your research. She could have just looked at that season and saw that he was
Right.
trash.
Yeah.
That's up to her.
I just like to me, I just want the best for Angel Brinks,
Me
honestly.
too. I
And like
really do.
I just feel like
I'm rooting for her.
she's such a sweet person. Like even when she was on the first season, it was like, y'all, I don't want to fight. Like I just want to be cool with y'all and do stuff. And then we have her with Rockstar. When I
Right.
first saw him, I was like, this is not gonna end well.
I know. Me too. When they said his name and showed him, I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, he to me, and this is just what I when I see him, he just reminds me of like a poor man's, Chris Tucker. He
Yeah.
reminds me of Chris Tucker, and like
Mhm.
not like a mean Chris Tucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just
But that's
don't
true
get
though. That's
why
true.
I don't. You know what I mean? I just
Yeah.
don't get why he's still on there.
Yeah. I think this episode, I was so disappointed in all the men.
Me too.
Like I was like, every time they turn to a man, I'm
It was
disappointed.
a disappointment. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really didn't like what Iman was talking about either, but we'll get there.
So let's
But
let's go, let's go ahead and
this
get
whole
here.
dinner,
Let's go ahead and
well, I
get
was
here.
just gonna say, but the whole dinner was cringeworthy, and I felt bad also for Duffy and Iman
Well,
because they didn't even.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say they didn't even know what to make of this whole awkward
Oh yeah.
interaction and passive aggressiveness. Like, like why would you even continue with the dinner party? I would have just canceled and said,
I
you
think
know
it was
what?
so awkward that they didn't know what to do.
Right, right. But what
I
I'm
don't
saying,
think.
if I were Angel and Rockstar in particular, Angel, I would be like, we're not having this dinner party and we're not
Oh
having
yeah.
this dinner party scene. You
Yeah.
know? I
Yeah.
mean, it just was at that point, it was cringeworthy and actually, to me, very hurtful to
Yeah.
watch her sit there and go back and forth with
Yeah.
Rockstar.
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
So I want to get to this part because this part was this. I didn't like this either.
Me neither.
we
I
have
was so shocked. I was just kind of like, wait a minute, what?
we have Duffy and we have Iman for people who haven't seen it. And he's basically telling her like she has to quit her job to take care of this baby. And I
Mm-hmm.
love the fact that Duffy threw back at him like, well, what if I told you to do the same thing? He's like,
Right.
oh, well, I would just do it. No, you wouldn't. Because if you would,
Right.
you would do it now.
But I think once again, what's happening is we're seeing kind of the after effects of the pandemic and COVID, right?
Yeah.
So he was so used, the relationship that they established was
Hmm.
based on her being home all the time.
Well,
And
no,
now things are changing.
she said that before that, she said she stopped doing it for a year. This was before COVID, from what I
Hmm.
took from it. Maybe you saw something different.
Because she was pregnant.
Yeah, so she said she stopped DJing and she's okay with it because they were talking about it. But she was like, after that year was over with, I'm like, I want to get back out there again.
Right. But
I don't think
I
there's
feel like
any
she
I
was
don't think there's
pregnant
any
and then the world closed like right when she after she had this kid because the kid
yeah,
is not even it's only months old, so we were in the pandemic. Okay, so
yeah,
even if she had stopped to have this child, she didn't say that her intention was to give up DJing. That was still her life. So he
right,
met her when she was doing her job. So
right,
now the fact that I think he just kind of got used to her being home all the time because she had to be home all the time, you
right.
know.
What's this one? Okay, that's Malaysia. Because I want to get into I really, really, really want to get into French Montana, but that
Yeah.
comes in later because one thing I love French Montana on
Yeah.
this episode. But we'll get to that in a minute. Um, so let's go back to this conversation really quick.
Okay.
I agree with you. Everything you said, I really agree. I did not like the fact that he wanted her to quit her job because she has a baby now and there's a family. Like
Mhm.
if the rules cannot be applied to you, then they
Right.
should not be applied to me. This is our baby,
Right.
not my baby.
Absolutely.
And
And
if I
and I
have a
feel like
career, I should be work my career like you work yours, and we should take turns taking care
and
of
he
this
was
baby.
okay with her working the career before
Yeah,
she had the baby and before they had the lockdown. And it's so interesting to me how so many men turn into that. It's
I
kind of
hate
like,
that. I don't
you
like
know what
that.
I mean? Yeah, it's just kind of like, if I didn't sign up to be a housewife, you didn't date me as a typical woman that's trying to be a housewife. She
Right.
was a DJ. She already was making her name for herself, and he met her
Even to hear her
doing that.
say, even hear her say how she became a DJ,
Right.
I
I
love
love
the
that
fact.
story. I love
Oh
that
my
story.
god! See, this is why we do this review together
Yes. Yes.
because
Right.
I
We were on the
love
same
when she
page. I was
said
like,
that.
go ahead, girl. There you
Yes,
go. You
I was
know?
like, "Girl, you did your like you." And the thing is this: like she says, she learned DJing from YouTube. I learned to build websites off of YouTube. I learned a lot off of YouTube for all the jobs that I have now. So when she said that, like it just everything that Duffy's doing right now is making me like her even more.
Yeah,
So that's
that
why I said that earlier.
this part of her on these two episodes, those are the things I like to see her talk about her relationship and her
Yeah,
being a mother and her trying to be a DJ.
yeah,
The messiness with the girls is what I don't like about
yeah.
her. That's what
Me
I
either.
didn't like about her the first time, and I don't like her the second time. And I
Yeah,
agree too with Prosperity Thick Girl that said they've been together for 9 years. So he accepted her as a DJ and that DJ life
yeah.
and her being on tour before she
Mm,
got pregnant and before the lockdown. So why
right.
would now be any different?
Exactly. And that's true. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this pressure that he has on her, like I'm like, girl, leave him, please.
Right.
At this
Right.
point, because if he cannot respect your work,
But I think it's
no.
kind of like his culture too. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
But I
even if
mean,
he,
it's 2022. We're not expecting, we're not receiving that answer anymore. Like, no,
yeah, but I just feel
she
like,
has a
but
job,
still,
like, and she does a good job at it. The fact, I mean, I'm at
you're
this
not a
about it now because
Muslim, so Deb,
we're going to get,
you're not a Muslim. You're not in of a different culture like that. It's
but
different with them.
my thing is this: the biggest part. I know we're going to get to this later on, but my thing was this: the fact that French Montana found her and
Yes,
was like, "Yo, like, I love your work, and I want you to tour with me," and like he respects her,
that's
like.
amazing.
Find you a damn man is like that because that man
I agree.
he respects her and her work.
Yep, and her work. And he
And I'm
wants
like,
her to think about it, and he wants her to
yeah,
think about it as a career. Like, this is going to
yeah.
be your life. And he's like, you can't choose this and then come back. Like, because he has to continue his work, you
And if
know?
I was Iman watching that back, I would feel like shit. Because why is
I
another
would
man
too.
if I why would another man have to tell my wife, yo, you dope? And I don't
Right. Right.
because she even said like when I come home here, I'm like, oh yo, DJ Duffy. Like she's like, you home.
Right. But that's what relationships turn into as well. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like
Yeah,
what she also said later on in the episode of like when she goes out on tour and then she comes home, she starts to feel the butterflies again. When you're
yeah,
just in a long-term relationship, you don't come home and it's fireworks every day. You start to live real life. And right now they're in the real life stage and they're not in the honeymoon stage anymore, especially if they've been together 9 years.
but if she's supporting him and being a coach,
Right.
to me,
But that's what women are expected to do.
yeah, but I think that was back in like the 80s and the 90s. We're in 2022 now.
No, it still
It's
happens now.
people, but
We can have
women
women
are,
that are CEOs and the men still expect them to be a regular housewife.
but no, I'm saying, but women, but it's changing now, and
Okay.
the women are on these shows right now. They're the breadwinners in their households now, and
Okay.
you can't keep those same old antics when she's bringing like she's a DJ now. She's on this show. She's bringing in a lot of money.
Well, I would just say, in the chat, if, as a woman, no matter what how successful or where you are in your careers, and I'm speaking as a woman, a man still wants you to be a man. So do
Yeah.
you guys agree in the chat with, where do you guys stand? I agree 1,000% with what you're saying, so Deb, but I think
So
again, it
yeah, let's
doesn't
ask the
matter if
chat.
you're
Put a one.
successful.
So let's ask the people in the chat. Put a one in the
Yeah,
chat if y'all think that it's changing for women, or put a
right.
two in the chat if it's no. I think for me, because I'm team, women. Period. Like I'm like things are, and I don't date women either, so I don't know.
Right,
But
right.
I'm like, women are like raising the bar right now. You
Well,
cannot
that's what
expect
I'm
women to be
saying.
like those,
You could
like
be
our mothers and
a fourth.
grandmothers.
Yeah, but you have to really think about this, and this is what I'm saying to you is that, you could be running a Fortune 500 company.
Hmm.
As long if you become a mother and a wife, a man still will be like, I want some dinner, or why can't you do this? And why can't
Yeah.
you do it's just how it is. That's just how it is. It doesn't matter.
I saw something on the internet where they were saying like, why can't you get up and do it? And I think
Right.
that in 2020, oh, Sunshine said all the twos.
Yep.
Um, but for me, it's just like, I think Neo made the song Miss Independent and then Destiny
Yep.
Child Independent Women. For me, at that time, I feel like there was a change. Now, I'm not a woman, so I don't know. But
Right.
I also felt like women, I feel like, are doing the most. There was a guy, it was a gay guy. He was on he did a TikTok. And he was like, y'all want these women to want you, but they don't need you.
Right.
And you have to make them even want to feel that way because
Right.
y'all not doing nothing. You living at home with your mom, or you're working a part-time job, or you're working one job, and she's working like 3, 4, or 5 jobs. Like at this point in life, you're not the head of the household when it comes down to it, but they still put you the head of the household.
Right. But I mean, but look at what the chat is saying. So Deb, they're agreeing with what I'm
I
saying. It
see.
doesn't
I
matter
see.
how successful we are and what we are in our careers, a man still wants you to be a quote unquote woman and do womanly things. And that's just how it is. It doesn't matter. So he could still support her career, but right now he's in the frame of like, this is my woman and we have a child, and who's gonna watch this baby if you're gonna be out on tour? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like
And
it's that
I
it's
agree. I understand what Miss Gigi said. She said we are doing the most, but we are still viewed as a traditional role. So
thank you, Miss Gigi.
yes,
That's
Sunshine,
all I'm
Sunshine
saying.
said, but so dead, we are doing the most, and me and are still not satisfied.
Yeah, and most men are not satisfied with that, and I feel like that's where it is frustrating to see it seem like that, because and also being a DJ is such a hard market to break into as a woman, especially as a black woman,
But for
and
Duffy to be DJing for
French
First
Montana
Montana, that's
is huge.
huge.
It's
Like,
huge. That's what I'm saying. It's a huge accomplishment. It's still not
yeah.
enough. He still wants her to he
Even when
still
French
wants to just
Montana said
whittle
it
her
to her on the
down.
phone, he was like, well, if you leave, like, I have to replace you basically. You
Yep.
can't come back. And so
Yeah.
her job is way more important because that man could lose his job tomorrow.
Right. That's true. I mean, and
So,
what Chrysalin Wanamaker just said is true. And that's what I was saying earlier. He's from a
well,
different
let me
culture.
read it. It says it's about his religion, the way they grow up, and what their beliefs are. It's not about old school, new school. It's about what a man and a woman is expected to do. They just believe in certain things, and I understand that part, but I also understand that she's not a traditional woman, and he can't be because he's taking a baby everywhere. So there's no tradition there, and I think that the thing is this: at the end of the day, if things fall apart for him, she still can hold it down. And whether he sees it or not, I feel like definitely like I don't want to wait until you fall apart and then I have to go down
Right.
and do it again. And
Hmm.
she's doing the right thing.
I agree. But what I'm saying is that, that's why the scene was disappointing. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like what we're both saying
I
is
want her to leave
true.
him.
Oh, well, I mean, she just had her baby, and I'm sure she's
I
not
know,
going to
I
leave
know, I know.
leave with the check, because they do make a lot of money. Hashtag Adele and her little man. That's also the sports agent guy.
Yeah.
So they
I
they
mean,
they make a bag.
I know she's not going to, but when I watch it,
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, let his ass go for real.
Right.
But I mean,
Right.
that's me thinking. Because I'm
Right.
like, you're
Right.
so much bigger and better than this. You're
But
working
then that
two
means she's
jobs.
probably going to be. I mean, when a lot of women do that, she it's going to be really
True,
hard for her to find another man, and now she has this
true,
kid.
true.
So
I got you. I got you.
yeah.
All right, so let's go to this next one. This is Malaysia and
Right.
Zelle Swag.
He's
Yeah,
on everything, isn't he?
this the
Every
one
time I
this
see
the one
him
that made me
pop up, I'm
cry.
like, "So swag."
This one that made me cry.
Oh, really?
I felt so bad for Malaysia, because I understood what she was saying. I'm like, just tell Brandy, please. But
Yeah.
I felt so bad because nobody really knows what she's going through,
Right.
and I think later
Jackie
on,
knows.
yeah, Jackie knows a fraction of it until later on when she said that the kids the kids are moving there. Like,
Right.
you have to realize how big of this issue it is. You know what I mean?
Right. But she told Jackie, she was like, "I miss my babies,
Yeah.
and my baby daddy has not paid any child support." She knows. She knows the details.
That
That's
man
why I
is
said
so
it's her
trash.
responsibility to
That
go
man is
back
so
and sit.
trash. Like, I
Yeah.
just can't. Like,
He's
oh,
been
I
trash.
can't.
That's why she
Yeah,
divorced him. And
yeah,
he's continuing to be selfish and to be trash. And I'm just kind of like, I just want her to not even have to worry about it. Just take him to court. That's what I was really thinking during
yeah,
this scene, especially because this grief that she's going through, of, just struggling with single motherhood.
yeah.
It's not right. Take him to court, even if it takes some time. But, I don't know her situation. Maybe
Mhm.
she cannot afford it, but it's just really frustrating to hear once again a woman be in this position. And it was heartbreaking. I was glad that at least though she had someone that she
Yes,
could really talk to
yeah.
about what's going on with her.
I think the more that I keep hearing, like the more this episode went on, I felt worse and worse for Malaysia.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, man, like I just want to go. I want to hug her with Zale. Like,
I know.
I'm just like, this is horrible. Like, she hasn't, and I think the other thing is like she was saying, we were young. Her brain was saying, we were young, we were doing fun things.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm a single mom now, like I can't do this. And then the more you hear the story, it's like it gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. For real. Seriously. My heart broke for her because she's
Yeah,
really trying, and I just feel like, you know, and I'm kind of like this too, so I really related to her that, when I'm going through a lot, I don't just run to everyone and tell people
right.
stuff. Like,
Yeah,
the way I check on people, I don't have people that check on me like that. And right there, she had a vulnerable moment where he was just like, "So what's going on? And how do you feel about that?" I think when she kind of felt relief when he actually asked her, "How is she feeling about things?" And that
yeah,
is why she started to speak up.
yeah,
It broke my heart because none of those girls in there are doing that. They're not saying, hey girl, how are you? What's going
yeah,
on? You look so sad. Is everything okay?" And so it made me happy that Jennifer actually did have that moment with her. But
yeah.
clearly she is going through something. It was really heartbreaking to watch.
I love that Jennifer even had that moment with her
Me too.
because it made me feel like, Jennifer is not like a person who can't forgive or nothing. Like,
Right.
she's going through something and she's like, yo, I'm here for you.
Right.
And even with Zelle, like, as much as I don't like Zelle, uh,
Yeah, same.
when this happened, it just made me cry because I'm like, man, like that has to be hard. Like, nobody's there for you, nobody's
Right.
helping you, and you are all on your own. Like, and then your friend is fighting, your best friend is fighting with you. You don't even care. Like, it was a lot going on.
Right, like, she's coming at her, like, her
Yeah,
ex-best friend is all up in her grill being aggressive, like, she's
yeah,
trying to protect her kids, and I'm sure it's also hurtful to watch her ex even flourish and, do the things that he
yeah.
wants to do, and she can't fly like that right now, you know?
I'm really hoping that by the end of this that she actually tells Brandy and they can like come back together because one, I think that they had a really dope relationship. And this is just really hard to watch. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
like
is.
reality TV, but this reality is a little bit different for me because even while she was talking to Zell, like she was in her eyes were red and almost tearing up
Yeah.
while she was talking to him. Like, you could tell Malaysia is really going through this.
Yes, and like I said, I mean, my mom was a single mom, and I watch her go through so much, but she didn't. The one thing that is different is that my father actually passed away, whereas Malaysia's ex is alive and well and
Mhm.
flourishing, and that makes it 1,000 times more, knowing that because she's probably wondering, and she's not saying this, but she's probably wondering why am I the only parent to our children? You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
And it's nothing like
Well,
that hurt. It's
she
nothing like
kind of
it.
said that when she went back and got them.
Yeah. Yeah. But
So
again,
we gonna get
I
that.
feel like I feel like Jackie was sympathetic, but not sympathetic enough, in my opinion.
I don't know if Malaysia shared enough with Jackie though.
You could if she was in Atlanta, she was like, "Well, we missed you at the party," and Malaysia was like, "F that party, I'm here in Atlanta with my babies."
But I feel that Jackie was like, "Oh, you bringing the babies back?" Like, I don't think that Jackie's processing what Malaysia is saying.
Right.
And I think is that the next clip that I have pulled up? No, this is the girls here.
Oh, this is that part. Okay.
But I do have it. Hold on. Oh wait.
Why are those sisters back? They're still
Listen,
useless.
we gonna get into that in a minute.
All
About to
right.
get into that in a minute. Oh, but here it goes. When she called her, I was thinking the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
I know that Jackie's not hearing what Malaysia is saying.
Mhm.
She's like, "Oh, you bring your babies back, y'all gonna be together, good." She's not processing what Malaysia's
What
going
she's
through.
going through. Right.
Yeah, and
I agree.
you could tell because Jackie's never been through this stuff, so
Right.
she's not in that place with Malaysia.
Well, she kind of no, she kind of was. She has been through this stuff. She was relating to Malaysia by saying, "My mom had 9 of us in a 3-bedroom house, and you can do this." But
She
as
did
far as
say,
being the single woman part, no.
yeah, she did.
Well, although
That's
she
what I'm
wasn't
saying.
she si wasn't she a single mom? Because her oldest daughter, um, she wasn't with Doug. Her second daughter she had with Doug and her son, but not the oldest daughter. So she was a single mom for a minute.
Yo, these. I want to get to these sisters in a minute, so let's move on.
Okay.
Okay, so we had which part? This part I really, really, really did love.
I did too.
This was so fun, and I love that Brandi was like, "Yo, I still love Malaysia."
No,
And
I was like literally, come on, SoDeb. I was like, girl, what? You've been all up in this.
she does
It
love
didn't look
Malaysia
like love.
still,
I understand that, but she hasn't been treating her with love, and so them being like, okay,
but
girl.
it's miscommunication. It's not because it's miscommunication.
Oh, okay, Brandi, lover, go ahead.
It's definitely miscommunication. But I love this moment. It was all the girls. First of all, we've never seen this group of girls together before on Basketball
Right.
Wives. So for them to sit around and have this moment, talk about Brooke's birthday party, and they were talking about Brandi and Malaysia. Oh, your friend came back, this and that. I thought this was really a cute moment,
It was
and
a
they
cute
all
moment.
looked good without the makeup on.
Yeah, I thought it was a cute moment. I was annoyed with Brandi because once again, with her, large harp, she's harping on, Malaysia City, and then Duffy called her out in the way that is annoying that I don't
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
you know. But Angel wasn't there and Malaysia wasn't there. So the girls that really needed this little fun moment weren't
Weren't
even
there.
there. And these girls weren't even asking, why can't they be here and get beautified and pampered and stuff?
Right. But they didn't want to go.
Because yes, because they've
They
been
were going through stuff.
acting. Well, Angel was going through it personally, and then Malaysia's kind of like, I don't want to be around her because every time I come around, she's up in my face, being like, "Why didn't you tell me about how? Why are you lying about knowing about my dad?" Like, girl.
And busy. We talked about this, and we talked about this already. We are all on the same page.
We're on the same
We're
page,
all on the same
busy.
page. Thank you, sweetie. You can log off, sweetie. Uh, that's his thing. He always says that. But I thought this was a really cute moment. I do agree
Me
with you
too.
that the girl should have been there,
Yeah.
needed the most, but they weren't there. I do agree with you on that. I did
Hmm.
love that Malaysia did express that, I mean, not Malaysia, Brandi did express that, yo, don't
She
talk
loved
about
her.
Malaysia. I love her. And I see the jealousy from Duffy in
Yeah,
this
me
one.
too. Just like the other season that she was on it.
Yeah,
She didn't like it then, but she was
yeah,
trying to make her to be the sister too, like
yeah,
have the Brandy sisterhood bleed over
yeah.
to Malaysia, and Malaysia was like,
She can
we're
never
not sisters.
replace, she can't replace Malaysia and Brandy's life, period. It
No,
won't happen.
no, it won't. I
And
agree when they said Brandy is doing too much. That is correct, in my opinion.
I mean, we've already agreed with what Busy said right here. It's frustrating that people are acting like it's not a big deal. We definitely expressed that today, so
Yes,
we get it. But I just want to pull this up because it was a really cute moment. I did think
cute
I was
moment.
like, they all look really good without the makeup on, getting it done. Like it was a cute moment. I loved it.
It really was. Me too. And that's with the franchise. Like I said, we have to have these fun moments like that too.
Yeah,
And when it was lacking in that for the last couple of past seasons,
this was a
this
really
was good.
hard this was a really hard episode,
Yeah, it was.
and to just have that little break for them to have that moment was, I think that was good to have that.
I agree.
This was a hard episode.
Yep.
With dealing with Brandy's father passing, with Malaysia's child support stuff, with their situation is bigger than anything I think I've ever watched on Basketball Wives.
I agree.
And I think
Because
that
we
their
haven't really seen like
disagreement,
the death.
yeah, I think their disagreements are because they're both going through hard things,
Yes,
and
correct.
no, they don't know about each other's stuff.
Right. But at least I think if Brandy would have approached it differently, I really believe in my heart, even though Malaysia was kind of done with her, she would have been more compassionate and sympathetic to Brandy had she approached her in a regular way and not confronted her aggressively. I
But
really
they're
believe that.
but they're both going through trauma in their life, so
I
I don't
get
think either
that
one's going to do either
I
one.
get that.
Malaysia's I'm gonna shut everything down. Brandy's like, I want to confront this because you're my best friend. You
Everything.
could have been there.
Correct.
So they're handling it their way. And I think as best friends, like they should know how each other handles hard times, but maybe they just don't know.
Well, like somebody in the chat, and forgive me, I can't remember the name, but like they said, they're so caught up in their own situations that
Mhm.
they're really not seeing the other person's. But during
It was
that
Christie.
really cute scene, like the pampering scene, you could see that, Brandy's guard was down, but every time
Yeah,
Malaysia walks into the room, it goes right up and she goes, "Rrr," like like that's her way of being
yeah,
like, I'm hurt and you should fix it, instead of
yeah,
being like, I'm hurt, but what's going on with you? Because I could see something's
yeah.
wrong.
I just couldn't see me attacking my best friend, even if we haven't talked
Me
for three
neither.
years,
Yeah,
like Brandy has been doing Malaysia. And I
right.
also couldn't see myself just ignoring my best friend for 3 years either. So
Me neither. And that's when we said that
yeah,
way earlier at the very
yeah.
top
It
of the
just
hour.
that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a two-way street for the both of them because
Yeah.
that's how we know them.
Yep.
So it looks weird to everybody from
I
both sides.
know.
Whether you see Malaysia, see Brady, or see both of them. It just looks
I
really
agree.
weird.
It looks weird, but I'm glad that they have like new people that actually, won't hold that and make it awkward, but like the awkwardness continue, because I
Yeah,
think that was the problem in previous seasons, is that
yeah,
everybody only knew them together. And so they have now, mixed them up to where some of these girls are not really as familiar with their relationship, their past relationship rather, and they're only seeing them right now. So
right.
I think that
I
that's a
also
good
think that a
thing.
lot of them are taking more of Brandy's side because her father died, and they're not really
Right.
receiving that Malaysia's going what she's going through because they probably
But
all
that's
been
only
through.
and but that's only from what because of what you said earlier, so Deb, which is because she has not communicated that to the group.
Oh yeah,
She's
yeah, yeah,
communicated that to Jackie. So
yeah,
they don't really know her, and they don't really know what's going on with her.
yeah.
So for them it's that she's not around, and I'm going to try to make it work with the girls that are around,
And
you
I think
know?
even when Brooke met up with Brandy when she got her nipple spears,
Mhm.
she expressed how sorry she was that her father died and all that stuff. So they had the sympathy for Brandy. They don't know what Malaysia's going through. So you're absolutely
Exactly.
right. You're absolutely right.
Because Brandy has been very vocal that my dad just died. My dad just
Right.
died. And like I said, from experience, there's nothing that takes that pain away. It is especially because it's so fresh for her. You That stuff just comes out. Like, I mean, it took me over a decade to not just immediately have go to that. You know what I mean? Like, so I know I sympathize with what Brandy is going through. But again, she's not the only one going through things. I'm not, like I said,
But
the
we
loss of a
also know
parent
that
is
we
huge.
but the only thing is that only she knows. I mean, she doesn't know anything else. So I mean,
Yes,
it makes sense. And I think this is what Busy is saying, which we've already agreed on. I think Busy must have took
right.
it late. But he said Malaysia started with that nasty eye roll in the first scene. You can only be nice to a standout person for so long. I think expecting too much from Brandy than Malaysia. And I don't think that's what
No, that's not true.
but that's not what I think that the issue is that they don't that Brandy doesn't know what Malaysia's going through.
It agreed. And also,
That's the issue.
even at the wedding with the eye roll, if
Yeah.
and I said this from the beginning, if she really wanted and valued her relationship with Malaysia so much, then why wasn't she in communication with her for 3 years? And when Malaysia was going
Well, we
crazy when
know
she
why
had
that is. Now we
COVID,
know why that is though. We talked about this earlier. It's
I
because of
know,
that
but
split up when she brought her around and she chose these women over Brandy.
And I get that, but what
We
I'm
talked about it
saying is,
before
again,
this
that
season
that is a
started.
job for her, and she
Yeah.
was not gonna mess up her bag. She already gave Brandi enough by even bringing her on the show. We've
But
already established that. So what I'm saying
Cindy,
is,
but the thing is this though. Now we understand why.
right,
Because
right,
Malaysia,
right,
she's not getting child support. She's, you know,
right,
we thinking that she went through this divorce and she got this money, but she's still not getting support for her kids. So now
right,
it makes more sense to people who have followed the show from the
for
beginning to
for
now.
sure. And
So
and you know
it
what?
makes more
In
sense.
all honesty, behind the scenes, none of us know if how long she's been going through this. You know,
Right,
it could have been
right.
the entire time, like 3, 4 years. It gets tiring after a while, and it's breaking her down. She's shutting down.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna be the biggest issue though when the
Mm,
reunion comes around.
right.
Is Malaysia bringing up Brandi doesn't have any kids.
Wait a minute. Brandi has a son, right?
No, she can't have kids.
I thought she had a son, out before the cancer.
Let me. Maybe she does. I don't think she does though.
I almost distinctly remember when she was going through the issues with her cheating husband that she was like, "But we have a son." Like, and they showed the little boy, I thought.
I'm texting somebody. I'm trying to type on Google. Hold on. Like, why is it not going through? I'm gonna Google it. I don't think she
Yeah,
has
look in
any
the
kids
chat. See, Busy just said Brandi had a son. She has a son. She has one child. She wanted more, but then because of the cancer,
because of
she
the
wasn't
cancer.
able
Okay.
to. Yeah, she has a son.
We never seen him though,
Right.
so I didn't know she had a son.
No, we saw the little boy. He was cute.
I
And
never
thank
saw
God,
him.
and thank yes, you did. You watched every season just like I
Well,
did,
I was
and they
when I
showed
first
that
when
little
I first
boy.
started watching, I was actually watching the one with Evelyn and them. So I didn't
Oh,
follow this one that much. I followed the
okay. Because
one
I
with
was gonna
Evelyn
say
and them.
when
Oh
Malaysia
yeah.
first came on the, it's not Malaysia. I'm sorry. When
Oh yes,
Brandy
yes, yes,
first
I
came
did.
on the
I did.
show,
You're right. I did see him. I did see him. You're right.
yeah, he was a cute little boy. Thank God he
Yeah.
looks like his mama.
So she's a single mom too, then, right?
No, because she's still with her cheating husband.
Who, Brandy?
Yeah,
She's not with that man no
Google it.
more.
They just so Deb, look underneath her name when they show her on the show. They say married to blah blah blah. She's still married to this man.
She's still married to that man? That threw
Yes.
the drink in her face?
Yes. No. Jennifer's husband is
Oh,
the
that was
one
Jennifer's
that
husband.
threw. Yeah, Jennifer husband threw the drink in
Brandy's
her
was the
face.
one who took her to the movie theater and did all that stuff.
And right because he had cheated
Okay.
once again. He's the serial cheater.
I didn't know she was still with him.
They said wife of.
Hold on, wait a minute now. I did not know she was still married to him.
Still married to that cheater. Up, see?
You are lying to me.
No, it said it under her name because I
You
checked
are
when
lying.
like every time when they put their names underneath that, they'll say ex of blah blah blah, ex fiance of blah blah blah, and they said, um, you know, her husband is whatever his name was.
But Malaysia told her to stay with him.
Uh, Busy's right. Her husband absolutely love bombs her. Every time he
He
cheats,
does.
he
But he
loves.
did.
Yep.
I thought they broke up because she was like, but we still. So I thought after that, she was like, we still have
No,
issues because you just cheated on me last week. I
stayed
thought
with
she
that
left
man.
him
No, she stayed with that man. She's
because we
still
never
with that
saw him
man.
after that.
Yeah, because they never showed him because I think that he wasn't favorable to her storyline. But she stayed with that man. She's been
I
with him.
had no idea she stayed with him.
Yeah, her first season on the show
I'm
was
sorry.
around him being a cheater. The second
So did
season
he get
was
it
when
together?
no, I mean not that I know of, but they didn't show it on the show anymore, so who knows?
We
But what I'm
never
saying
saw
is
him after that episode.
no, because remember the second
Oh,
season
it
was
does
when
say
it was
that's his
like
wife on Google.
yeah, yeah. And when I was gonna say remember when they
Yo,
had the
hold on,
fun
give me
season?
1 second, Cindy, because I literally thought they had broken up because after the episode, I'm like, they broke
Oh
up.
no, because first of all, like I said, I feel like she's kind of like a victimatic. Had they gotten divorced, we would have heard her go on and on about how hard the divorce was, and she got a
But
divorce and divorce.
Malaysia was saying to her like, don't do it. On that
Hmm.
episode, on that season.
That's because she didn't know that he was a cheater. Brandy did not tell
No,
her that part.
Malaysia knew that season that he was because she was telling her why. And she said, but I think that you should think about like she talked to her back in the sting. I just didn't know she
Okay.
stayed.
Well, I knew she stayed, and she stayed. She was staying
Wow.
before because he had cheated on her many times before, and she said that during her season.
Yeah.
And Busy is absolutely right, and it's because every time he does mess up like that, he does love bomb her every single time.
Wow. I did not know they were still married. I thought she
Yep.
had divorced him.
But I think that's her cycle, is that once again she's like, you hurt me so bad, you've done this, and she expects this chase to happen. And it almost seems like she's playing that out with Malaysia, which is
Yeah.
disturbing to me.
That would make sense though.
Yep.
That makes sense. All right, so let's get to this next one. We gotta get. I have to hurry up and get over here so I can get to my other live at 9.
Yep.
So Duffy and I keep forgetting this girl's name.
I forget her too,
British,
but it
British,
starts with a
British,
B.
British,
Yeah, I
British.
was like, it starts with a B. Okay, British.
They sit down, they talk, and basically Duffy is worried about Brandi going back to being friends with Malaysia
Right.
and how it's going to destroy her new relationship with other people, which I
I
could see
agree with
that.
her.
I can see
I
that.
agree with her.
Yeah, I
Yep.
can see that.
Right now they're just fillers. She's on her season, really, in my opinion, to
Yeah,
try to become, to repair things with Malaysia. And right now, Malaysia doesn't want to have it. She's done
yeah.
with her. So the only thing she can do is
I think
to,
by the end of this season, they're going to be friends again. This is
I
like
doubt that.
I think they will be because honestly, well, if they don't, I think that we won't see Malaysia again
Right. And maybe
because
this is her way out.
maybe and that could be true too. But
Hmm.
I don't see them not being friends after this. I think that if they have a conversation about the direction that they're going in life, because it's not odd for a single mother and a wife, or I guess because Brandy's still, I didn't know she was still married, but a wife to be, friends.
Right.
I don't think that there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that, so that makes sense why why Malaysia keeps saying I'm a single mother.
Right.
I did not like. Why was I not connecting the two?
I don't know,
Um,
because it was very clear to me. I was just kind of like, why is she still with this man?
yeah,
Because I remember on the second season, before she got let go, Brandy saying, like, I'm sorry, Malaysia saying, so how's everything now with whatever his name is? I can't remember his name.
Jason.
Yeah, so how's everything with Jason? And she was like, we're okay, we're good, or whatever. So I knew that she didn't leave him. She said she didn't leave him. And I know, like, if she had left him or they got divorced, that's all she'd be talking about is, woe is me, we got divorced.
I gotta process this. Sorry, I did not know she stayed married to that man. I had
Wow.
no idea she was still married to him at
Yeah.
all.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's
I
get
was
to
gonna say,
this because
Mark
why are these
Marcus
girls
is
here?
right. Malaysia does need the money.
Why are these girls
I
here?
don't know. I'm so confused. They
They
showed them
literally
at the wedding. They showed them at Brooke's
Brooks
party. Why
Party.
are they
Yes.
there?
Like I don't
They're
understand
not
this.
in the beginning credits. They don't
Nothing.
talk. They don't give them any, like, what? I mean,
Nothing.
they even show Brandy talking to them, when they're like, oh, maybe she's going through something. One of them said something useful, and she was right, by the way, by saying maybe she's going through something, and Brandy said F her. That was the first episode.
And they literally like they really just show them. Like they don't really get a chance to talk about
Nope,
nothing.
nothing.
So I don't know why they are here.
Me neither.
They're not friends with anybody that's even on this cast.
No, they weren't friends with anybody on the other cast.
Yeah, I am so confused with this, but
They tried to make them friends with Jackie, but Jackie didn't know that she doesn't know them.
yeah, absolutely not. So let's go to the next one. So the girls are all together. I thought this was a really cute thing for Brooke's birthday.
Yes, very cute.
Um, this was a really good moment. Here's Brooke
I
and
think
her
she looks,
husband.
first of all, let's take a moment. I think Brooke is absolutely beautiful. Not only do I think she's a fun girl, I like that they brought her back. I liked her before, but look at her. Look how gorgeous she looks in this dress. It's
And
everything.
when she turned around, like the whole thing, it
Yes.
was amazing.
The
I was
whole
like,
thing was a
Brooke,
whole vibe. I was like, Brooke, girl, where you been? This is what we need. We need the fashions, honey. Get
right.
it.
She looks good. Like
She
I'm
looks
loving
great.
Brooke this season.
Me
I liked
too.
her the first thing she was on too, though.
Yes, me too.
I
I
loved
liked
everything
her.
about
I
it.
didn't understand why she wasn't there, other than I forgot who she fought with.
It was
Um,
Jackie.
Oh, okay. So now they hook it up again this season. But I'm
Yeah,
just saying, like, I really, really liked her from the beginning, and I
Brooke good
forgot
too.
about her because she was so brief. But I'm glad she's back.
And I love when Brooke gets mad and goes off. She's like, "It ain't your party. It ain't your party.
Yes.
It's my party now." I'm like, when Brooke get mad, it's like the whole shit just shuts down.
Yes. But I love that because why
I
should she
love
have to sit
everything
there and be
about her.
polite? I love it. I love her too.
Me
I'm so
too.
happy that she's back.
So we get to her party. It's her party. They're like, "Is everybody here?" And then like Brooke is like, "Well, it look like somebody here." And then there's Malaysia's
Yes.
Malaysia didn't show up. Which
Mm-mm.
I wasn't expecting Malaysia to show up, honestly.
Me neither.
And
But
so
she
then,
had to go and see about her babies now,
right, right, but
so
they didn't know that, and whatever. But then here
I
comes
know, but I
Brandy
did.
making
I
excuses
hated
for Malaysia.
No, no, but I also hated Brandy being like, "Well, maybe she was afraid that she have to sit next to me, and maybe it's too intimate." Girl, shut
No,
up! It's not
no, no,
about you.
wait, hold on now. The first thing she said was she will be at the after party. That's the first thing that she said.
But okay, so that was one thing, and then everything went back to her and poor me, and
No,
maybe
she
she's
kept
this.
no. She kept on making excuses for Malaysia about being at the after party. Maybe she had something to do. Like she was holding Malaysia down
Okay,
because that's why Duffy kept making all the jokes.
well, she made the one same joke. She's my best friend.
Like my
She's a
best
real good. Okay,
friend.
we
So
got it
and Brandy was like, I'm getting irritated. Like she was
right.
tired of it because she would not stop making jokes
And
about
that's why I didn't like her the other season when she was on. But
yeah.
I told you, it's the way she does it in front of
But
everybody.
this is
It's
why
like
I
she's this.
love Brandy though, because even though they're not even getting along, like she's still being a best friend.
Well, then why wasn't she her friend, the best friend for 3 years when she didn't know she had
I
COVID
don't, I
and
don't,
she was trying to
listen,
reach her?
I can't explain that part, but what I'm saying is on this show, she's still being a best friend. Like, maybe she has something to do. You should be at the after
No,
party. Like
no. But so Deb, you can't. I mean, first of all, she's straddling the fence. You either are not going to be her friend or you take up for her. And I don't care what she said. It's a habit for me to take up for her or not. She was calling her out of her name. She was calling her a B and saying F her and all of that stuff. And I get that she's hurting and she's hurt, and I get that.
Mhm.
But that's not something I would say about my best friend, whether I'm mad
Well,
at
this is
her or not.
reality TV, so I feel like it's a little spikes put on it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I'm gonna give it that. I gotta make sense for my girl.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it that because I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like Brandy does miss their relationship, period. And I think Malaysia's just over it.
I I I agree 1,000% because once again, it benefited her and it's all about her. That's how I
I don't
see it.
think it was because it benefited her. I think she really loved Malaysia.
She loved her because it benefited her. Malaysia was very supportive of her. She was always there for her. And right
I don't
now,
think that's
Malaysia
why
cannot
though.
do it.
I think that's why
Right?
she loved her.
Okay. Okay.
Well, we're gonna agree to disagree on this.
I agree. Okay.
So we have Angel Brinks here.
I
Rockstar has
was
texted her.
so happy to
Well,
see her. And then my face fell, but yes.
again, I was disgusted with Rockstar.
Hmm.
Like, I can't with him.
And I was disgusted also with her. I mean, I know she's pregnant. That is her child to be, soon to be, child's father. But I'm just kind of like, girl, you got all dolled up. You are on camera and you're
Right.
embarrassing yourself by running out, being like, I gotta go. Girl, you just sat down. You just sat down. You're
I
letting
hate this.
this trash clown drag you out of something that is,
I
girl,
hated it. I
I
hated it.
hated it. Me
I
too.
hated it. I'm just
I
like,
just want better for her, but I
me
want
too.
her to do better. It's up to
I
her
want her
too.
to want better for her.
I agree.
Period. I hate it. I hate that she left because of this.
Yep.
But let's move on to the next point because this is my fun part. JackieChristie had to be nasty.
Of course.
They
Before we
having
move
their
to Jackie,
oysters.
wait. Before we move to her being, silly and like she
Mhm.
always is, but can you look at the comment from Protect My Energy? It was addressed to
So
you.
Deb, your Virgo slip is showing. Brandy is in Malaysia's face trying to lash out. but then fake makes excuses for her absence by excluding to it because of Brandi.
Thank you. Protect my energy. That's all I've been saying. Thank you.
I'm still sticking with my story, and that's that.
All right. All right.
I'm afraid of Angel Brinks, rock stars asshole is controlling, and you can see we knew
Yep.
that from Love and Hip Hop though.
Yeah.
Love and Hip Hop. So
Right.
and Rockstar gives me abuser. He definitely gives that to me too.
Me
I
too.
literally
All right.
wanted to fly to LA to fight him because I don't like this.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
I do not like
Well,
it.
I'm already in LA, and I'd love to find him. But he wouldn't
I'm
deal with the
gonna
women like
tag
me.
Angel Brinks in this review to let her know I will fight that man because
This
I
is
do not like
ridiculous.
this. Hmm?
I don't like it. I didn't like it for Mimi or whoever he was with. I believe it was Mimi, and I don't like it for Angel.
Listen, we can all fly together and beat him up together. Okay.
Right.
Because I don't like this. I just feel like she's been through so much.
Right.
Like,
But
why
then
did
she
you
needs to
even
make better
choose him?
choices but then make better choices to protect yourself.
And that's
You
what I
know
said.
what
Why
you've
did you
been
even
through.
choose him? You know,
Right. Right. Okay. So
I hate
anyway,
watching this.
right, me too. But again, we're running out of time. Let's get to
All right, so
Nasty
let's get to
Jackie.
Jackie's moment. This was funny
I'm
to
like,
me.
girl, but I'm like, girl, how old are you and how long have you had a man that has had money? You have never had oysters, which are
Well,
delicious, by the
she
way.
always talks about her not giving oral sex to him, and so
Right,
that was a joke from the table. So I'm
right.
pretty sure she might not have done this.
Yeah.
And Brandi looking good back. That's when I say that part. But let's
That-
So then we have Brandi pulling Duffy to go talk to her about the jokes.
she
And
did. I'm glad she
I'm glad
did.
that she pulled Duffy to the side.
Mm-hmm.
We already looked at that. I'm glad she pulled Duffy to the side about this.
Sorry, I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Sorry,
It
Alexa.
looks like a router issue, so try restarting it. Unplug the router, wait 10
Oh,
seconds,
wow.
and plug it back in.
She's always trying to be a part of my videos. I'm glad that she pulled Duffy to the side to tell
Me
her this.
too.
I think Duffy handled this very well. She was like, I get it. I'm just trying to comfort my friend because I know you miss Malaysia.
Okay.
And it was very pretty much very simple. So I
It
love this
was, but
part.
I just kind of feel like Duffy puts herself in the situation. I'm glad that she
Yeah,
did take it well and then tried to make it lighthearted. But I'm like, it's not even her it really, the reality is it's not her place whether Brandi wants to take up for Malaysia or not, but
right,
out. It's their
right.
situation. Let them either fix
Well,
it or not. And if you don't want to hear it, don't be around it.
she was saying to British that she knows that altercation that they had when she first met Malaysia was going to come back up.
Yes.
So that's where this pettiness is coming from.
Right. Okay, fine. I just feel like, Duffy should butt out of it.
Yeah,
It's
I do too.
already,
I do too.
I feel like
I
it's
agree with you.
already strained enough. She doesn't
Yeah,
need to make the best friend jokes and all that stuff. Like,
yeah.
because
Cut it
obviously
out.
Brandi is always, is also clearly very vulnerable and hurting right now. So
Right,
even if, like considering that she did just lose her dad, it's not up to her to be like, that's my best friend. So what? She
right,
said she loved her. So leave her alone and let
right.
her
And
do what she's
you
gonna
already
do.
know that.
Right, exactly.
So we talked about this one, Jackie. We already talked about this part.
Yep.
So then we have this part, and this is another part that I don't like about Iman.
Right.
Because this is basically like Duffy losing her job.
Yes.
And I hate this because Duffy shouldn't have to choose. That's both of y'all's
Between
kid.
her work and it. And I
Yeah.
agree. And also what I really didn't like was that was really a personal and private conversation. And that
Mhm,
woman is sitting there in the middle of it. And it seems like is trying to get people on his side
mhm,
that, that has her ear. And I didn't really like that either. I was just kind of like, Iman, really just kind of be like, well,
right.
you know, we're kind of,
What
we talked about some other stuff, but I just felt like he was I don't know. I didn't like
I
what
don't
he
like
was
it
doing.
either. I don't even like him now. What
Yeah.
I did love was French Montana. I think we talked about this a little bit earlier,
Yeah.
but I love French Montana's conversation with her
Yep.
because he built her up so much and told her, how much he valued her.
Yeah,
And
he said, because when he said you wanted to hit this goal, I don't feel like you
you
reached it yet, and you have
right,
more to do. You
right.
know?
He to me, like, I don't even really know his music like that, but I want to go stream his music today because
Yeah.
I feel like that was so positive for him to even say. And I feel like he gave her the ultimatum to make her choose her.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't think that
I
he said
agree.
it because I feel like if he really believed what he said, if she wanted to come back, he would let her come back. But the way he built her up on that phone call, I just like that is so amazing.
Me too. And I love that she said before she even made the phone call was she was like, we were friends before this. And he said that at the end of their phone call. It's like, he goes, if you leave, you can't come back. But, we were friends, before this.
Right,
So it's gonna be so it's about business. It's about he's trying to say this is your career. You created this career for yourself. And like I
right,
said, it's really hard for a woman to, be a DJ, let alone a black woman to be a well-known DJ. And when
right,
she was on the show, her first go around, she wasn't as well known, but now she is, and I really feel like she should lean in towards what she was saying when Iman came to the studio, and she was telling her story about how she became a DJ, was
mm,
like, what's next for my life? And she even said, I need my money too,
right,
like I like where her head is at, is, as far as, her thinking about her daughter as not just depending on her dad, but she
both of
wants
them,
to work too.
right. And I think that's ain't nothing wrong with that.
I agree.
Then we have our last scene, which is Angel and Duffy sitting down and her telling Duffy that her and Rockstar is on a break. I was like, good girl, you
Right.
just leave him. But
I know, but I felt so bad for her
I did
because,
too.
she's,
Yeah,
so pregnant, and she,
yeah,
started to break down, and she was just like, I just, again, it's a culture thing. She was like, I just really want to have, the father of one of my children be in their lives, basically,
and if you know her story, her first kid's dad died.
died. Yep.
So you know that it means a lot to her for if she's pregnant, keeping the baby, like she feels like he's gonna stick around. And
Right.
he's being an asshole.
Right. But again, she should make better choices, and I think,
That's true.
I think, her first child's father passing away is because I think he was doing some shady stuff.
Mhm.
So, for her, she needs to protect herself. I don't care how flattering or how charming or whatever they are,
Right,
protect yourself and know that, look, I have had some trauma. I don't want to repeat that with another child and another situation. And she
right.
is making, unfortunately, in my opinion, she's kind of making that mistake,
Again, yeah.
again.
Now the last thing I want to talk about is what's happening next episode because
Oh,
Jennifer, this
wow.
man right here,
Yeah.
I want Jennifer to keep this man. I want to see him on TV all the time. I
Well,
hope
I
this
just
works
feel,
out for Jennifer because this man is
well,
funny.
I know, but I mean, will Jennifer, because in my opinion, though, I don't think I've seen her with like a gray hair dude. You know what I mean? Like, is this her thing?
Put a one in the chat. I think this man is fine. I want
I
Jennifer
think
to keep.
he's
I want to see him on the episodes next season. Like
I
I
think
need
he is.
more.
I think he is handsome. But what I'm saying is that Jennifer's type? Like she was
Well,
leaning
maybe,
into
but maybe she don't need
no,
her
because
type
she was
though.
like leaning into Iman talking about you don't have no cousins, you don't have no this.
But
Like
maybe she don't need her. Maybe she don't need her type though. That's the thing.
true, but what I'm saying is I don't think that this guy. She's gonna like I said, her eye is already looking at Iman like that's what I want right there.
Well, listen. If you don't want them, Jennifer, can you send them to me? That's all I'm saying. This is a fine man. I mean, his smile looks good. I love the gray beard. He looks like I want to marry this man. Like that, I want her to have him. But if you can't have them, can you just send them
Well,
to
let's
me?
see what he's talking about first. So, Deb, I mean, we don't know what the man does. Like,
That's true. That's very
you
true.
know, like,
I'm just looking
what
at the
kind of
first
job do
impression
you
right now.
have? And you know what I mean? Remember, we're talking about somebody that didn't even know what food stamps were. So let's see. Let's wait. Let's wait and see.
And yes, that's her type, wealthy. Okay. And I need to
let's
see him
see.
stand
Let's
up.
hope
He
he's
was standing
wealthy.
right here. He's standing right
Yeah.
there. The man is fine.
Right.
Not send him to me, please. I'm praying to God tonight. Looks are everything. He could be drinking, listen, we can control all that. God can bless people, y'all. I'm just trying to tell y'all. No power of God. But I think that was it. I think the other thing was, Brandi and Malaysia gonna fight next week.
Well, no, and then British, like stupid Jackie, was like, I did something, and she has British's ex come on. Like, why would you do that during the speed dating or whatever dating or whatever they called it?
Yeah.
Why? So
And
weird.
I didn't even like that conversation because it was like he felt like he owned her.
Right.
I didn't like it.
That's like she said, I am allowed to date. I am single.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you don't own my private parts.
Yes. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Protect yourself.
But yeah.
But
Thank
I
you,
really
Chris.
enjoy this, Cindy.
Me
We have a hit
too.
show together.
Yes.
I'm so glad we're finally able to do this. We have waited
So
for a
glad that
very
we
long
don't
time.
have to do that. We could actually have like the more old school, lighthearted balance. Of really, like I said, many times before, of
Yeah.
what the franchise started out as. We're kind of there now.
Yes. I so enjoyed this together with me and you. We
Me
don't agree on
too.
everything. We agree on some things, but it's still a good vibe. So I'm loving
We
this.
agree on most things. What we just don't.
Yeah.
What right now the focus is right now on Brandi and Malaysia, and you're now relating to more of what I was saying about Malaysia.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how it all pans out. I really hate. I'm kind of dreading. I will say. We know that they fight because you could tell Malaysia is fed up.
Yeah.
She's fed up. She was like,
I
"Stop talking to me. Stop talking to me."
I don't feel like she's fed up. I think that she's just going through so much stuff.
She
This
is, but
is
she's
her
fed.
problem.
What I'm saying is fed up with Brandi trying to aggressively
Oh yeah,
get her to focus on her, and she's fed
Yeah.
up with that. And she's like, "Just stop talking to me." And that's why she kept putting her hand in her
I'm
face.
still Team Brandi, y'all. I'm still Team Brandi, but I do agree with what you're saying though.
Yeah. So that's gonna. I'm actually not looking forward to it because I know that they are both hurting, and I know
Yeah.
Brandi really misses her. She's just messing up trying to reconcile. It's just gonna be kind of not a good look to me, but we'll get through it.
I hope that she doesn't make herself look bad the entire season with this.
I agree. I would like to see
I
actually
love
both.
to love Brandi. And I
Yeah,
don't
but I
want to
mean,
not
I would
like
like
her.
to see both of them kind of do better, not Malaysia in the way that she's treating her, but just kind of not be so heavy with this burden. I hope that she gets some help and some relief.
I'm saying, Marjorie, come on, don't go up in those bushes. Come on back on out here. But I mean, honestly, I just feel like both of them are like we said in the beginning. I think they're both going through a lot. And
Yeah,
again, Brandi does not know what Malaysia's going through. And
right.
I think I hope that I hope that when she does find out, this changes.
I hope, but I will say, like from experience, losing my mom that first year, I really could care less, to be
Yeah.
honest. And I hate to say that, but whatever what anybody was going through, it didn't matter to me as much as the pain that I was going through in that loss. So we may not see it this season, and that's in all honesty. If she
I
stays
just
on and this continues, maybe next season.
But I just hope that when Brandi finds out what Malaysia's going through, that it helps her understand the
Right.
leveling with her.
I agree.
Even if she's not all the way there, at least they can level with each other. Like, let's go our separate ways. Maybe later on we can kind of come back together or something. But
I
right
agree,
now, I
I
think
but I
it's too much
think that
trauma.
I know, but I think that that's kind of hopeful in a, sense of that, you would think that she could see that sense. What I've seen in the past from Brandi and currently is that she's then gonna hear what Malaysia's going through and then give her a hard time like, "Well, then why didn't you tell me? You should have told me. Why didn't you tell me?" That's what she's gonna turn it into,
Well, that's what
in
Malaysia
my
just did.
opinion.
But that's what Malaysia just did to her, though.
No, she didn't attack her like that. She was like,
She
"I
said, "I
didn't
didn't know that
know."
your." She just said, "I didn't know that your dad died."
Yeah, but she
She never
wasn't
said, "Oh
yelling
my
at her
God,
and all
Brandy,
up
I'm
in her
so."
face.
She
She said,
never.
"I didn't know."
Now she never gave the empathy that she should have gave when she found out her Brandy's dad died ever.
No, because she hasn't been there for her.
But I'm just saying,
Malaysia
if,
has been
I
there
don't.
for Brandi though.
I don't care what the breakup is. If I had a best friend, my best friend's parent passed away, whether we friends or not, when I found that out, I would have empathy for my friend
She
or my
did.
ex friend.
You saw the look on her face. She said, I'm really
The look on
sorry.
her
I
face
didn't
was I
know."
didn't know. No, the look on her face was I didn't know. It wasn't empathy for Brandy. It was
No,
I didn't
no,
know.
no, no. Look again. Go back and rewind. It was empathy. What she said out of her mouth was, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know." And then she was gonna talk again, and Brandi started attacking her. But you did see that split second of empathy. You
I
did,
think that
until she was being attacked.
what I will say is that Malaysia's response to finding out wasn't what I would want my best friend to respond. My ex best friend, nothing to
Right.
respond to me that way. Because if I found, I don't care how, if we not friends at all, if I had a relationship with this person, and clearly Malaysia did,
Right.
me saying, "Oh, I just didn't know," or "I did not know," or however it was, and I'm not like in any kind of like, "Oh my God, like your dad died." Like to me, I don't know how well I'm going to receive you after that because it's
Well,
almost like you
I'm
didn't really
just
care.
saying, I just know my personality. Like I said, when I don't want to talk about something, I'm going through something difficult, I tend to distance because I just want to power through it. And I think that's what my sense is, with Malaysia. However, if somebody is all up in my face and I'm already going through it, I am going to probably respond the way that Malaysia is. Now, I would be sympathetic. I'd be like, "I'm very, very sorry." But she's not giving her any
But
grace
but
either.
I think that's where when Brandy says that she has a character flaw, that's where that comes in at because honestly,
Okay, but then that's her opinion. What about her character flaw that she can't see or think about anybody else other than herself?
Malaysia could have said that, but she didn't say that because to me, I feel like again, if Malaysia was my best friend and at some point in my life we didn't talk for 3 years or whatever, but you're panicking over me having COVID, and then I tell you that my father died, the last
Right.
thing that says I didn't know. I'm like, oh my God, Brandy, I'm so sorry. I did not know. Like I would be very empathetic for my friend because her father passed away. Like it was just like
I I
she was
agree.
sad about it, and I do know she had other things going on. But
I agree, but she basically ran this woman out of the restaurant out of that. And protect my energy, you and I are right there. Everything you're saying, yes.
Ray was insisting that she did not know, and to try to keep insisting that means that you are saying that I am the effed up that I knew and didn't reach out. It's what was unspoken, yes, strongly implied.
Thank
I,
you.
I see that, but I also feel like I guess if in my own position, if I heard that, I'm like everything goes out the window for me at this point. Your dad died, like oh my God, I'm in shambles at this point because
And
I had a
but
relationship.
so
I had
Deb,
a relationship with him.
but listen, yes, what you're saying is correct. But then right after that, she went right back to attacking her. All of us deal with that differently, okay? So, and she was trying to protect herself, and then she got out of there. She was like, "My energy's off. I don't want to
Right.
mess up the event," and she left. And it was because of Brandi. She was
I,
trying to give. If she would have let the girl have 2 seconds to give her some sympathy, but she didn't do that.
I think Malaysia did the right thing. And
I agree.
I agree with Lala Chanel. When you lose a parent, you check out of life for a moment. So Brandy is probably not able to read the room right now. I agree
Right.
with that.
And
So
that's what I said
I think that
earlier.
what
Like I said, that whole first year, I
I
didn't,
think that what protect my
I could
energy
didn't
is
really
saying,
care.
and what Lala Chanel is saying is that two things can be right. And I think that
Yes.
both things are right. you know,
At the same time,
at the
correct.
same time. True. Because I mean,
Yes.
there's two people sitting on two different sides going through two different things.
Yes.
But I have to get out of here, y'all, because I got like 5 minutes to set up for my next live.
Yes.
Cindy, we will be doing this.
So great.
I love this. And I cannot wait till
Yes.
next week. So
No,
we're
next week, and we'll
yes.
we'll be back. We'll be back on our schedule, right? So
Yeah,
it'll
regular
be
schedule. Yeah.
8 p.m. Eastern. Everybody, we're gonna do Basketball Wives. Let's
Yes.
get into it.
Protect my energy. Great to have you, Cindy C.
Oh, thank you, girl.
Oh, I so enjoyed this. We'll talk later on Instagram, but I really enjoyed you. And I thank you so much for helping me with this.
Me too. I love you. So
I love you
I'm
back.
here. I'm there. We'll get at it. We're
All
only
right, love you.
two episodes in. Can't wait for the rest. And
All
thank you,
right.
chat. Thank you guys for being here and supporting SoDeb. Please continue to support him on all of his platforms. He's such a
Do you want to
sweetheart.
shout
I
out any
don't
of yours?
No. I'm
Okay,
here
I
for
didn't know if
you.
you did.
So,
Yeah, I didn't know
I'm
if you
part of the tribe. I don't have a channel. I'm just
did.
happy to be a part of the conversation. This is such a thrill for me. I've been watching the show since the beginning, but to have somebody else that is that knows so much about it too is so fun. So thank you guys.
All right, y'all. So I'm gonna take you out. I'm gonna say goodbye to these people so I can go to my next live, and
Okay,
then
good
I'll
night.
hit you up on Instagram.
Okay,
All right.
bye guys.
All right, y'all. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I love Cindy because we have really connected through Basketball Wives. So you guys will see us every week doing the reviews of Basketball Wives every week. I think we agreed at like 7 o'clock on Tuesdays. Don't quote me on that. But I think that was the time that we agreed on. If not, I'll let you guys know when it does happen. But if you are new here, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button and comment in the comment section. I love y'all. Make sure you guys go over to my next live where I'm going to be interviewing the guys from what is the show called? It's the dating show from Atlanta. I keep forgetting the name of it. And I just had it on the tip of my tongue too. Love Match Atlanta. I'm interviewing Lamont, who is the gay matchmaking specialist in Atlanta, and also Kevin Terrell, who has been on the show and he's been match made. So make sure you guys go. I'm coming right back. So love you guys, and I will see you later. Bye, y'all.